Hey, hi, this is Tom Cool from the Tom Cool Life channel, and today I have Mark from the Tempow project, and we're going to have a very genuine discussion. All right. So Mark, let's start with a brief introduction. Very easy because these audience are like me. I didn't see a white paper.
Sure.
I saw nothing. That's on purpose because
Sure.
I want to understand. If I understand, I think most audience will understand. All right.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have a complex detailed in the background, but make it something really simple up front.
Right. Exactly.
Right? And I find that if you can make a complex thing simple, people nod their head, they smile, and they go, I could do that, or I could use that. Now, we have a platform, followed by a platform, followed by a platform. So it's a 3-platform project.
Okay.
So the Tempow project, and I'll give you a quick spin so you can see, is 3 platforms.
All right.
Legato, crescendo, and fortissimo.
Right.
Right? So it's all musical terms. So if you want to go to think of things really logically and practically, tempo means time in Latin or in Italian. It's an Italian music
That's good
term.
to know.
So our timing is it's time for more people to get into the industry of cryptocurrency.
All right.
Using it on a daily basis, using practical applications, and understanding it and not being afraid.
Okay.
Now, the first platform is about making it easy for your grandmother to buy or sell crypto.
Okay.
It's a simple app in the palm of your hand. We call it a micro cryptocurrency exchange in the palm of your hand. It's a cryptocurrency matchmaker. Buy or sell any cryptocurrency anywhere in the world, online or offline. Simple as download an app, place an ad to buy or to sell, and someone in that region, whether it's Seoul, Kundum, whether you're in Singapore or Shanghai, you can say, I want to meet and I want to trade. And so 2 people can connect and say, well, I actually don't want cash, but I want to sell some Monero, and have you got some Litecoin? Oh, okay, you do that exchange. So you both have your wallets, you both have your app, you've connected, you've traded, secure encrypted chat, you meet face to face, or you wire transfer the money. Whatever you do is up to you, but it's as simple as place an ad and trade.
Okay, then my question is, this like an exchange or is it like a decentralized exchange? What?
It's designed as a peer-to-peer connection application.
All
So
right.
we're not actually handling the money or the crypto because we're not an exchange in that platform. Legato platform, legato means smooth connection. So smoothly connecting 2 people together, one that wants to buy, one that wants to sell. Now, whether they like each other when they meet, they don't have to trade, they don't have to. So there's no exchange involved other than maybe you've always wanted to have a bit of Bitcoin, but it was too hard to get an exchange account. In fact, John McAfee once said the reason most people don't go on exchanges is they're too hard to set up the account, do the KYC, understand the language it's in, or they get bamboozled by the pie graphs and the bar charts and
Right.
the worms and the all that stuff that stockbrokers know and
Yeah, I
traders
understand.
know, but most people on the street don't. Now, in a country like Korea, where 1 in 3 people under the age of 30 are actively trading crypto, this isn't necessarily the product for them as a buyer,
Okay.
but it is for that person that says, I just want to own $100 worth of Bitcoin. So that when my friends ask me, I don't look embarrassed and say, no, I don't have anything. We want everyone to be able to say confidently, I got some, it was easy. I met someone at McDonald's, I went to Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, and I did a trade for $100, and now I've got some crypto in my wallet.
Okay.
And now I'm part of the revolution. Now I'm
Right.
not part of the early adopters, now I'm part of the mainstream, just like everyone else. Because what do people want? They want to be like everybody else.
But my question is, how do you resolve the latency issue of the blockchain?
Latency isn't necessarily an issue for us. What we're looking to use is a cryptocurrency card partner. Now, what the card partner is going to do is you're already going to have a wallet set up. So you're going to do a transfer to transfer. Now, we're not in control of Bitcoin. We can't say if the transaction is going to take 2 hours or 3 hours or 6 hours. So there's going to be an education channel running in parallel with people getting onto our platform. So they come to Legato and say, okay, you'll be able to trade crypto. But it's no magic silver bullet, because if you do a Bitcoin to Bitcoin transaction, you might have to wait a while for consensus.
Yeah, right.
You might have to wait a while. We can't control that. But if someone's going to do ether to ether, it might be as quick as that. If
And
they're
what
gonna
about
do ripple to
what about the confirmation, right? Because you have confirmed multiple times, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, what happens if these people doesn't know that?
Well, that's part of our education process. We don't want anyone being in a transaction or a negotiation that they feel manipulated or they feel being taken advantage of, because obviously that wouldn't be good press overall for the industry, but especially for Legato. We want Legato to smoothly connect people and have them get a positive result.
And then, do you have? I mean, you might have a coin for Legato, right?
Yeah, there's a token called the Tempow token.
Okay, so how does it work? So you will most probably have distribution, smart contract in between, right? And then, for instance, a grandma has Bitcoin and she wants to exchange it into ADA, for instance.
Yep.
In that case, there must be an intermediary in between, right?
Yep.
Because they're not going to the exchange to do that, right?
Correct.
I mean, how does it work?
In most cases, what we're looking at with Legato is an entry point. So most people, we assume, are going to do a cash for crypto transaction.
Okay.
$100, 10,000 won, a million yen, whatever they do, whatever they're comfortable with. Because like trading and investing, you've got to be only willing to trade what you're willing to lose.
Right.
But we don't want people thinking that going in. We want them thinking, I'm going to create a new interaction. So it's what we call a trust-based system, as opposed to a permissionless or a trustless. So not relying on consensus. We're not relying on all the validation of transactions. We're saying, go in and make that small transaction to dip your toes in the water of the cryptocurrency ocean. Dip your toes, and when you feel more confident, as we educate you further along, you're going to get more wallets. You're going to have access to more cryptos. You might hear about something like Monero or Litecoin or Dash, and you go, well, I want to get into some of that. And you place your ad, you say, I want some Dash. Now, as soon as you place that ad, we're going to say, have you got a wallet that you can receive the Dash? And what are you exchanging for it? Are you going to exchange cash, or are you going to give some Bitcoin? In which case you need a Bitcoin to Bitcoin wallet, and then a Dash to Dash wallet.
Okay.
So we have to educate at the same time, because this is for the masses. It's not for the early adopters. It's not for the people that are here at this conference. It's not for the people who are watching the price of Bitcoin every day, which went over 7,000 again today. Everyone's excited, right? It's not for them. They're already in the market, and they're going to be the sellers and the traders. But those new buyers, we have to be responsible for the education.
Okay, then I'm curious on two aspects. The first one is, buying Bitcoin, whatever coin, outside the blockchain first. Secondly, this distribution smart contract, because this seems like, if I want to exchange with her, I have Bitcoin, she has Bitcoin Cash. In that case, I want to exchange, then I need, my Bitcoin wallet and Bitcoin Cash wallet, and she does too, right?
Exactly.
And in that case, how do you manage, the trustless, transfer actually,
So that's where you need...
first with the fiat, the option feature.
Yeah, that's where you need like this multi-cryptocurrency wallet. So we're working with two different partners. One has about 10 cryptocurrencies in a credit card-sized wallet, which is like cold storage, but also with an app and the card. They can make the confirmation and transfer the funds. Now, both people need to have a similar system, or you either have if it's Bitcoin, you can have any number of hundreds of wallets directly on your smartphone, right? But if you don't have those, before you do that transaction, you've got to download that wallet. So that's, again, back to the education.
Okay.
So no one shows up at McDonald's and says, we can't even trade here today, we've wasted each other's time. Mm-hmm. Now, the crypto-friendly expert trader user already has all those wallets, and so part of their conversation is they're going to be part of that education process. It's like, I'm going to send you Zcash, and Grandma's going to say, how do I get Zcash? And the person's probably going to say, well, this is the wallet I use. Why don't you just download that wallet for free? You can transfer. And so it's building that trust system, because then after the transaction, you're going to rate each other. You're going to say, this person was educational, they were supportive, the transaction was smooth, it was in a public place.
Yeah.
Or, I really didn't like it. They took me down a dark alley. There were all these other people around there. I didn't want to do it, so I didn't do the transaction. And you give them the 1 star.
So that begs the question, okay? So the traders, they have to meet face-to-face?
Well, what we're designing it as a peer-to-peer, face-to-face app initially for those low trades. Because in the early stage, like the beta version, there's no escrow process, there's no big third party. But once it gets to a higher level, like $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 worth, then a moderator comes in an escrow position, and then you can do it totally online. Okay. And then the funds don't get released until the transaction is confirmed. And so then we've got an extra layer of security, an extra layer of complexity. But Grandma still needs to be able to do that with 1 or 2 clicks. Mm-hmm. My son, who's 21, needs to be able to just go, okay, yep, done, wait, okay. Oh, transaction's confirmed, my money's released,
but
everybody's paid.
That future, state, having this escrow system, it's just going to prolong the transaction.
Yes and no. What we're looking at is a real-time moderator in that process. So, for example, if it's an Ether to Ether transaction, but it's worth $20,000, the transaction between Ether could happen in seconds. It might take a few minutes, right? But the money is going to be in escrow, waiting to be transferred. The second that confirmation comes through, it's released.
All right.
So it can still be a 3-minute process.
I mean, that begs another question because right now I know what you guys want to do, but the exchanges. I mean, they had their trouble, all right. But
Sure.
in the time frame, actually, you guys kind of perfect your platform. I most probably think that exchanges will get much better, which means they of course they will make it very user friendly.
Trying to increase that user.
And, they have the security like insurance in place. I mean, of course, it's not P2P, but it's fast, and if they can kind of boost up their security level, in that case, it's going to be safer than now. In that case,
Sure.
that's going to be a hell of a competition to you guys.
Legato isn't competing with exchanges. Legato is just bringing new people in. So our goal is, let's say we bring in 1 million.
But exchanges are doing the same thing. They're always talking the same thing.
They all want to bring in new people, right? Everyone wants to bring new people in because more people means more bullish markets,
Right.
more competitive, but at the same time, a bigger pool of people to go to. So we're not going to tell anyone don't join exchanges. We're going to say, let's make it easy for you to get in, and then go join 6 exchanges if you want to. If you want to be a trader, if you want to use a more friendly user experience, whether it's Binance or Huobi or Kraken or whoever you want to use, right? What we want to do is bring more people in. Because what we think is if we can connect more people to the world of crypto, then we get more good press.
A couple of days ago, I had an interview with another exchange project,
Yep.
and actually their main differentiation factor was education.
Education is
Yeah.
vital. That's what I've been doing for 20 years.
I mean, they even try to educate, the trading. You understand what I'm saying, right? How you can become a good trader.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of money in trading, in forex trading, in stock market trading, and now in crypto trading. And while they say a lot of the fundamentals and the principles are the same, if you've never done it before, it all looks complicated. So there's this huge opportunity, not in teaching people blockchain, that's already being done, and that is a good education area, but how to trade, with artificial intelligence trade, with robot trading, there's so many different ways. That's like that next wave. And for us, that's our third platform.
Okay.
Fortissimo is an exchange designed to pay people and reward people for trading with our tokens.
And what is the? I mean, I like your kind of step-by-step integration, all right?
Yep.
Because everybody else they're always like we having all the whole dish.
Everything's in.
You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
right? So I like it very much.
'Cause some
What
people
is
will-
the main background?
Some people are only going to do one trade
Yeah.
to have $100 worth of Bitcoin
Right,
and
exactly.
never do anything else. So
Exactly.
they don't need a big exchange account. They don't want to go into the e-commerce world. But what we want to do is we get those million users who are now like, well, now I've got some Bitcoin, what do I do with it? So then we introduce them into that merchant or e-commerce platform called Crescendo, where anyone can list and buy and sell anything for 100% crypto, online, offline, face-to-face, again, app-based, so you can get there and go, oh, pay, done. And watching yesterday the payment processor panel, it's happening already. With WeChat Pay and Alipay, that's a form of digital money. So all we have to do is get that same habit, that same process happening in the mindsets of people that you can go with your wallet and pay for something and it's coming in crypto.
I have my own kind of observation regarding that because I interviewed most of the Korean payment gateway projects, all right, and
right.
I know that there's already up and running payment gateway projects. They are not working. The reason is because the blockchain sucks latency, and then the cost is too high.
Coffee's gone cold by the time you.
Yeah, because you're not going to pay like 4 cup of coffees for one coffee.
But if you have an online place like Lazada or Alibaba where you're able to pay with your crypto, the product's being shipped to you, it's being delivered, whether you're buying a microphone or you're buying a t-shirt, it's going to come to you today or tomorrow. So then 10 minutes or 20 minutes or even 2 hours doesn't matter as much because you're using a system or a platform you're already familiar with, you're using drop shipping or a logistical service that the time of delivery of product to you is important to you, but you're pretty sure it's going to be tomorrow or maybe the next day. I can place an order on Lazada, order 10 things that comes from 10 places over 10 different days. But I know once the order's placed and my money's taken, I now have an expectation to receive that. So what we're saying is use that same merchant behavior and the same customer behavior, but just let them accept crypto 100%.
So right now then your second model, what was the name of it?
Crescendo.
So Crescendo is about actually payment, right? It's like payment, right? So your payment target, I mean the users will most probably, they actually are in kind of the business that actually ignores the speed. Is that what you're saying?
A lot of them speed won't be the issue, yeah, especially the online merchants. Or for example, someone that sells services. I MC at conferences. So I put my MC services up for $2,500.
What is IMC?
to be the host or like the introducer, someone that runs the whole event, right, on stage. So I say, I'll be the MC of your event for $2,000.
Oh, MC, oh,
yeah,
right,
MC.
sorry.
I'll be the MC for $2,500. It's good advertisement, right? And I just put that on Crescendo, and then anyone can find me anytime. Now, they're paying for a service, so there's no lag time in delivery until the day of the event. Unless someone asks me today to do an event in 1 hour's time, in which case I want to make sure that I'm paid first. Mm-hmm. But most of the cryptos are going to resolve fast enough in payments.
I mean, at least, you have a realistic view.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
You have to be realistic. I mean, what we think is if you've got 1 million new users, maybe 100,000 of them will buy something on an e-commerce platform, but there have to be the merchants who understand that they can take the crypto and convert it to fiat immediately to remove the risk. However, some of those merchants and some of those initial Legato users are going to want to start trading. They're going to get addicted to the concept, and that's why we flow them into an exchange, which is also utilitized by the Tempow token, because we know the fees that some of the exchanges have made in the past. We know that Robinhood came in and said we'll do it fee-free, which means they've just changed their spread. And we want to reward people for trading. If you want to be a trader, the best thing other than getting an increase in the value of the price is getting rewarded. Mm-hmm. So gamifying the trading experience.
Okay.
So the Tempow token is given to people who are trading.
All right. So let's begin with the first platform again. So how about the fiat? I mean, how's the fiat to crypto works?
With Legato, fiat to crypto is all about, it's the other way, just crypto to fiat. If we're trading on Legato, you're just going to give me $100 and I'm going to give you your Bitcoin or your Ether or whatever.
Okay, so who's giving the Bitcoin?
So someone that places a sell ad on Legato is going to find someone that wants to buy exactly that same thing. They start an encrypted chat, they decide where to meet or to do it online if they trust each other, and they do the trade. We don't see the trade until we get to that next level in Legato. Once we've got more infrastructure, then we go to the moderator, or we go to those higher risk trades, and then they can do it online anywhere in the world.
So then the platform on your back, they're all separate mainnets?
Separate projects, separate platforms that link together, but they are separate apps. Probably be on a different server, mostly in Singapore. But as far as mainnets, that's what I leave for the CTO.
Okay, and
especially with the built-in redundancies. The biggest database we have to manage is the merchants and the SKUs and the stock items, if we're going to cover it that way. The Legato database is just users.
Okay, so it's realistic, like I said already, okay? So the face-to-face makes sense.
It's already out in beta mode.
The face-to-face makes sense, and then once you put in the escrow, it makes sense, all right? But what about the fiat to crypto, right? I mean, this seems a little bit dangerous to me.
Fiat to crypto, it's a risk level that people have to be comfortable with themselves. I don't imagine people, and it doesn't happen on local Bitcoins, and it doesn't happen on Tether. Nobody shows up with 20,000 in cash at McDonald's to say, here's this, give me 3 Bitcoins. Because someone will give them 3 Bitcoin tokens and they'll think it's real, right? So that's that education process again. So it's only exchanging cash to the value you're comfortable with once you know the speed of transactions, once you know the timing, how quick it's going to confirm. And the whole point of us putting a trust-based system in is because so much of this is invisible on the internet. A lot of the other peer-to-peer trading apps are quite geeky and clunky, and while they look okay, they're not very user-friendly unless you already have the knowledge. So knowing that 75% of exchange trades over the counter, especially the big trades, with lawyers and escrow agents and all people sitting in a room to do millions and tens of millions of dollars, we wanted to bring down that to the micro scale, to the $100 trade, to the $50 trade, to someone that wants to buy Tron when it's 0.005 of a cent, and they go, oh, for $20 I just got 100,000 coins. And then they've got it, but it wasn't a risky transaction. So in that trust-based relationship, suddenly you've got a buyer and a seller who now get a rating. So, and fake reviews has been a big issue around online projects and freelancing sites.
Mark, how do you make sure that actually the transaction, either one of them are really faithful? You understand what I'm saying, right? All the double spending issue,
Yeah. Well, how do you know that? How do you know that the cash is real?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Well, again, don't want to focus on high-risk transactions. We want to bring it in at the smallest possible level.
All right.
It has to be like trading, it has to be what you're willing to risk.
Okay, so in a worst case scenario, you will lose just like $100 or something, right?
Yeah, we don't want grandma putting a whole fortune at risk, because then you're not getting anything.
Right? There's a limit on it, right?
It's going to be on each individual, but our education process, I come back to it again and again. If you don't educate the people, then they're going to lose their money in a Ponzi or a scam. So if you at least educate them that this is just the same as buying a loaf of bread, and are you going to pay $1,000 for a loaf of bread?
I understand, but what about? I mean, you can also most probably will integrate some kind of safety measures that is systematic, right?
Everything is going to grow in complexity, obviously, as we receive more funding. We start with the beta, we get the feedback from the users. How was it in Hong Kong when you traded? Oh, no one spoke the language properly. You need to change the interface. How was it in Korea? Oh, great. The person educated me on 3 different wallets I could use. So suddenly we get users who then become moderators. They become an assistant in that escrow process and in the moderation of the bigger transactions, which can then happen online. And I'll give you a scenario. Let's say I want to go to San Francisco next week.
All right.
And I've got no USD on me, and I'm going to have to go to an ATM or a foreign exchange. I'm going to lose about 10% on the transaction.
Right.
Instead, I could meet someone, place an ad on Legato, say, I want to buy $1,000 worth of US, I'll trade any crypto for it. San Francisco, of course, there's going to be someone. They connect to you, you meet in the airport, you meet at your hotel, you sit in the lobby, you do the $1,000 worth of transaction, they get the Ether, the Bitcoin, the Litecoin, whatever, you've got your 1,000 in cash, you haven't needed to go to an ATM, you've got the exact fiat value for your crypto, and you haven't had to exchange the money here or there.
I understand.
You've removed the fiat risk as well.
What about, right now we have Binance, we have Bitfinex, and we will have some other name of, big exchange in the future, okay? It just changed rapidly, right? And the thing is that, brand is very important, right? I mean, you still say that you're targeting, the people who are actually not consumers of these exchanges. But, there might be a possibility the more awareness grows of, coins and, the price value is, steadily increasing. In that case, people will think about the biggest exchange because, it's just because of the brand name and it makes them feel safe.
It's what people do with banks as well.
And you're a small player compared to them, right? How are you going to beat that?
Well, it's not about beating them. It's really about bringing that new level of overall connection through Legato, overall new users who then want to buy and to sell. Because the initial new user doesn't hold, so they have to buy something. And once they get in, that's like my first Bitcoin transaction was $1. Someone made me download a wallet. They said, "I'll send you $1." I'm like, "Really? You can send?"
How much is it right now?
That dollar is probably worth about because I stayed in this industry and I've grown things. I don't know, turned into 100,000 or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't when Bitcoin was cheap. It's just that started my journey.
So
right?
If
only every dollar turned into 100,000. Yeah. But look, we don't see ourselves as a competitor. We see ourselves helping make the whole market bullish and bringing that greater awareness, because the idea of people accepting 10% or 20% of a transaction at a restaurant or a hotel in crypto, even 2 years ago, was hard. Now, 100% crypto, totally possible with the technology and totally possible with the wider mindset. And we see that with all the conferences we go to. Every day, somewhere in the world, there's 2 or 3 conferences on Bitcoin, on blockchain, on cryptocurrency,
right,
and on adapting that technology to disrupt the industry.
Right.